Good evening. Welcome to your Friday night edition of Not Another Rangers podcast. Hopefully you can hear me. I've seen one of the comments already before we started saying not any sound. So, Scott, if there is any issues, let me know for there. So, welcome to tonight's podcast. You'll see that Scott's not here. Scott is away to a concert of a band that nobody knows and never heard of, and is likely to be thoroughly enjoyable for him. We will never ask him about it because we don't want to know anything about it. Pretty clear. So we've got to talk about tonight, a lot to cover. Big game last night, big game Sunday, and we'll cover that over the next few. So I'm going to introduce our guests. I'm Gary, I'm your host. Jade, Dave, I'll just come to you just because you were taking a drink there and it makes it just catch you out there. How are we doing?
Good. Aye, it's Friday. It's always good. Always good to be on a Friday. I've not been on for a while, so it's good to be back.
I think it's the first time we've done one together, so we will hopefully agree on some things.
Go easy on you.
We'll see how it goes. Cheers, no, that's all right. It's fine. Take it. I was going to say it sounds worse. Go as hard as you want, but I don't really want to do that on Friday night.
Oh, hey, I'll keep that for the bed. No, I'm kidding.
Ricky, how's yourself?
I was good, mate. I was in a better mood until you told me earlier you were hanging out with Chris Sutton today. You need to want to let the viewers know what you were up to today. Sorry to drop you in it there, Gary.
Not at all. So today I was at a sporting lunch at the Double Tree. So thanks to Mast Architects who invited me along. So I should plug them and say thank you for that. And there was Chris Sutton was one of the speakers. But as was Scott Quinlan, I think is a rugby player. I'm not a big fan of rugby, so that means nothing to me. And Neil McCann. So for the Prince and Princess of Wales Hospice, who do amazing work and raised fortunes for tonight, so money for them. So well done them. But Neil McCann was really interesting. Obviously, it was one of those phones off jobs, so I can't really tell you any of the stories he told. But it was good listening to some of his stuff around, particularly about the 3-0 game when he scored the 2 goals that won the league, if you remember rightly, and about some of his stuff. So that's been my day. That's been probably not the normal day. Normally it's a day in work, but that was interesting to go and see that. So and hence, but as I said to Ricky, I didn't even have a drink because I was dedicated to coming on the pod and not letting the viewers down tonight. That's dedication for you.
That is.
So in terms of tonight, we're going to kind of cover a lot about last night's game because it was good and we don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. That's probably for the best. We had, I believe, and Scott tells me, over 2,000 viewers on Monday night. And so he says, please like and subscribe. If you like what you watch, listen to, like what you watch, please subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. So, and I will repeat that at various times as we go on. So if you want me to stop saying it, the quicker you subscribe, the less times I have to say it. So on to last night's game. What we think we'll do, we're probably going to kind of pick up your general thoughts on it first, and then we'll go through the goals and through some of the incidents, some of the main talking points. So if I come to you, Ricky, first, what was your kind of general feelings on the game last night come 10 o'clock?
Yeah, well, the team got rightly a lot of stick after the performance on Sunday, which was pretty pathetic. The desire, the heart, all the usual things. And last night, everything was positive. It was very, very good. I think Raskin and Balogun made a huge difference. That extra bit of pace, extra bit of power. Raskin and Barham was fantastic in the midfield. The press was, I liked, when they played together before, they were in each other's pocket. They were too close to each other and it didn't really work. But last night, Raskin was a bit deeper. Barham was fantastic, like a dog in midfield, pressing that bit higher. And that really set the tone for the rest of the team. I mean, I think 2 of the goals came from Barron's pressing, which was excellent. So, I mean, again, last night, I'm not being negative, but we were playing with 10 men and we all know the person who I'm speaking about. So for the team to play as well as they did, we got away with one with Butland. That was a shocking decision from the referee. But anyway, I mean, it's happened to us. It's happened to us with Morelos. It happened to us in the Old Firm game last year. So you've got to take them when it comes to you, you know. But no, the overall performance was very good. A lot of positives last night. And it's game at a time. We've got 5 games coming up now, so if we keep playing like that, we'll have to see it again on Sunday. I'm hoping that we're going to see the same Igamani in from the start on Sunday, Balogun and Raskin in the team as well, and keep that good performance going. Okay.
Thanks, Ricky. And as always, there's some comments about haircuts and about, so for those that are listening as opposed to watching, Ricky's hair shaved off, and it's
shocking. It's absolutely shocking. I'm not having a bald Ricky. I'm not having a bald Ricky. I'm sorry. It was handsome with the hair. Why would you do that?
It's okay, mate. It'll grow back. It grows back quick. It's grown back. It's just the white. I've not got the whiting sorted out. I need to get my technical director in here to sort the whiting out, mate.
Aye, it's the jealousy ripping out. I mean, that's the only thing. That's why I wear the hat, innit?
So let's moving on to Ricky's hair, because we don't want to spend the hour talking about that, or lack of hair as it stands now. JD, how was your take on the game come at the end of it?
Much improved, wasn't it? Very, very much improved. It's by the way, I'm not getting carried away, but I still want to live in the moment. It's been a decent performance, a good performance. There are, and I'm not moaning about it, but there are still a lot of things to sharpen up on, even within that performance. Raskin and Barron, for me, were outstanding. Although they still gave the ball away a few times, but that's always, see Connor Barron, I think there's going to be spells where he will lose the ball because he tries a difficult pass a lot of times. But more of what Ricky said, they just went after the ball. See that one? You mentioned Neil McCann, and I don't listen to BBC Scotland, but I had to do a run at a wee pick up with one of the kids at half time, and I just put the radio on, and Neil McCann was on. He was spot on. He was brilliant to listen to for that 15 minutes. His tactical analysis about Rangers had the two, but it forced Stoya to push one forward. And as soon as they pushed one forward, Barron or Raskin pounced, and it worked time after time. So great performance. Still a lot to do. And I know you touched on it there, Ricky, but it's the start of the end for Dessers, I think, for me. I think if you look at the ratings for yesterday, everybody performed well, apart from Dessers, getting sickies, wee hissy fits and stuff. But other than that, 100% not a penalty for me, not having it. I watched it a million times. Again, I listened to Neil McCann, spot on. The boy touches him. It's a trip. It's a trip all day long. And seeing people posting wee videos of it doesn't look good as you look at it fast, full time, or full speed, or the first replay. See when you watch the third replay when it's zoomed in, it's so clear he gets kicked. So free kick all day long, Ricky.
So what we'll do then, I think, on that is we'll start to go through the game and pick out some of the key incidents, and then what we'll do is look at some of the tactical stuff that you're talking about, and then see where we get to in terms of overall. So I suppose I am sitting in the Broomland stand, so directly opposite, and I'm watching Jack Butland wander along his 6-yard box with a goal, and I do mean, or amble, maybe a better way of putting it. He seemed to just keep moving. Time went into slow motion, and the next thing you know, the ball's in the back of the net. It looks, and me and my daughter are certainly sitting there thinking that's a goal. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong there. JD, you're saying I've seen one replay, a couple of replays on my phone. It's soft. I mean, I think it's soft. I mean, potentially as a foul, but he's lucky to get it as opposed to it being a failure from their side in some ways.
I think when I first watched it, even the first couple of replays, I was like, and I put it in the chat. I said, I don't think that's a foul. That's a goal. It's not a foul. But when I watched the replay, they kind of zoomed into he definitely gives him a wee trip. But like you said, you knew it was happening. He ambled, he touched, he dilly-dally. I think everybody knew it was going to happen, and it happened. I'm no big on going for Butland. I know a lot of Rangers fans do go for Butland. I think if you look at our 11, he's the least of our worries right now. We've grew up with the best goalkeepers ever. Our 3 were greatest ever. If you go to Gorham, Kloss, McGregor, all of them had mistakes in them. A goalie's always going to cost you a game every now and again. I think Butland saves us, particularly last season. I know near the end it was a few Europa games and everybody's just hanging on to the cup final, which I get. But if you go through the whole of last season, we would have been nowhere near Celtic as close as we were, or ahead of them at points if it wasn't for Butland. So for me, Butland's not a problem. But definitely, you kind of knew that you knew it was about to happen in that incident. I just think not wearing the blue tinted specs, I just think it was just a foul. Just.
Ricky, what's your take?
JD's at it, mate. That was never a foul, man. And Butland knew. Butland's head was in his hands, mate. And the goalkeeper, you can tell. I know JD's. I don't know how many Guinnesses he's had. I think he was at that sportsman dinner with you, but he was just sitting sinking the Guinnesses, man. It was like, nah. And I totally agree with everything JD said after that, though. I mean, I think some of the reaction about Butland's a bit over the top, and I actually thought last night he had a few decent saves, and he comes for crosses, he commands his area. Okay, his kicking's not fantastic, but his kicking is okay. It's where it needs to be, and I actually think he is. Like I agree with that he's the least of our worries. But last night, for me, we definitely got away with one there. It was a 100% clear goal, and I don't understand this rule with VAR. I know that VAR couldn't intervene because the ref blew his whistle. So after the ref gives it, VAR can't go back and change the decision, which I just find absolutely bizarre.
Which is, Ricky, you know what's weird about that? I am at 100, but people can tell us in the chat, I'm 100% sure the commentator said, oh, that's a VAR check over. And I was like, there wouldn't have been a VAR check on that.
No, there wasn't a VAR check. The commentator, there wasn't a VAR check because the rule is that the ref, it was the same as the goal we got earlier, the Dessers goal, where there's something to do with the ref waiting to blow his whistle. It's the same sort of thing, but in the opposite way. But anyway, I still think we would have beat. I thought they were pretty poor last night. I still think we would have went on to beat them. But anyway, we got away with one, and we deserve it anyway because we've had a few of them against us. So for me, it was the wrong decision.
So I think, you know, as you say, I mean, the referee was horrendous. I think he should have let the play go on. Then the decision should have made that was fortunate in some ways because then VAR does have a chance to look at it and. Yes, you never really know when these things start what they actually take. I think it's maybe one you drop into the category of very soft but potentially correct. And I don't know what it looked like in TV, but certainly at the game for the next 10 minutes, he did look a bit of a nervous wreck. Butland, he did, which understandably, if you've made a mistake, like even given the fact to get away with it, it was certainly a bit edgy, and I think you could tell that. So. Despite that, we still started quite well with a few shots at goal, if I remember rightly. And it was literally within 10 minutes when we get our opening goal. So there's, if I remember, there's a nice dink over from Tav, which is then taken down pretty well. But Cherny drives into the box, and rather than just hitting it across, he cuts it back to the edge of the box where Lawrence curls, I suppose, although curls it and hits it off the ground. And certainly looking above it, the keeper arguably should have done a little bit better. But it gets first goal. So your thoughts on the first goal, JD?
I think you're spot on. It kind of scuffs it into the ground, didn't it? And I think that maybe puts the keeper off a wee bit, kind of spinning it, kind of raised a little bit. Keeper's got to save it though. It was pretty poor. Cherny was outstanding on that. He brought the touchdown from quite a high position, didn't he? His second attempt, or when he went spin round. And I thought that was a beautiful touch.
He drove in the side. He drove in, so the defender couldn't do anything. He take him out.
Good awareness. And listen, and he's got a lot of his critics, but if Tom Lawrence can get us goals, and he's playing in a certain position, I'm not bothered whether he can run back. I'm not seeing the majority of games in Scotland. He shouldn't need to run back. He shouldn't need to, and he should just be there to create and score goals. So I think he's on like 5 goals, 2 assists, or 5 goals, 1 assist. That's the kind of return you need from someone in that position in the park. Whether he's going to be there long term or he is the answer in that role, I doubt it. But all we can ask for is him to score goals for us, and that's 2 in a row, two Europa League goals he's got as well. So I was happy with it.
So it must be. I'm just thinking of, you said 2 Europa League goals, and he also scored 2 league goals in quick succession. It must have. I mean, he must have been a reasonable form in the last half a dozen games. Ricky, your thoughts on the first goal?
Yeah, no, he gets important goals as well, Lawrence. Like, it's not like your third goal when we win 4-0 or that. He gets what your 1-0 victories. His goal against Hibs was important. He Dundee United, very important. And what he did was he actually kicked it from his right foot onto his left foot. It was a great trick shot, and then the ball spun. And it was difficult for the keeper. It was one of the ball was spinning that much in the air. The goalkeeper completely misjudged it. So it was a great finish, and we needed that as well because we started okay, but the game was pretty even at that point. And then I think after we got that first goal, the players really kicked on and settled down, and especially the second goal. So the first goal was really important, and it was a good finish from Lawrence. And but what I worry about his injury, though, you know, it looked like quite a bad one. he did that turn and the guy wiped him out, and it looked like quite a sore one on his thigh. So hopefully he's not out for too long because they needs him.
See for me, Gary, with that though, and that's the only thing with Tom Lawrence. Like, I know it did look a bit of a sore one, but come on, man, dust yourself off. I get it, sports science and the game's changed, and they're peak athletes, so a little niggle can really throw them off. But every time it's a knock here, you just knew he wasn't going to come out for the second half.
Do you think, JD, he's underappreciated? There's a comment obviously that says don't rate him, but and I think somebody said he scored 5 goals, 2 assists. I'm always a bit unsure whether one bad game and he's rated to be done, then plays well. Is he one of those players that's slightly underappreciated because he's a moments kind of player? He's not in the game. It's just when he picks up the ball.
I think if we had better players or a better system, I'm cool with him playing a lot more because he will score goals. I'm not having any number 10 who scored goals. I don't think that's the case. We've had better players than Tom Lawrence play for us. It's no went on at this wee mini run that he's went on. Tom Lawrence has scored more goals in the likes here. I know Ryan Kent was a winger, but more than Kent probably scored in the space of 2 seasons almost now. So, and Kent's probably a more technically better player than Lawrence was. So, underappreciated, I'm not sure. I think, in my opinion, I had higher hopes. I had high hope for Tom Lawrence. I think that first injury he got basically ruined his opportunities. He probably his Rangers career long term. Underappreciated. I think he's just it's a mixed bag with the fans. Some fans don't rate him, which is fair. Some fans do rate him a bit. I mean, I'm cool with Tom Lawrence playing, no against Celtic, but I'm cool with him playing in certain games because he's proven this year. That's all we asked for us to get us some goals, and that's what we need. Some people other than a number 9 scoring goals for us. And Lawrence is doing that. Is he in my eyes, is he a long term or even by the end of the season? I would love to have seen someone else make that position their own. Bajrami's the one that I want to see played in there. If we find an option who can stay fit for the left hand side, but for me, I'm not worried if he plays the more Sunday or whatever. It's not a problem for me now. Again, no, at least they were worries right now.
Yeah, I think he's a different type of player. And I suppose I don't know, did I probably think a number 10 should be? I don't see him really as a creative player. He's more of a direct running and shoot from the edge of the box type player. He's not really one that's going to be sliding through balls here, there and everywhere. Maybe that's part of the thing, or the expectation of what a number 10 does is slightly skewed from what he does as a player. Anyway, that's my perspective. So we get to half-time and 2-0 up. Lawrence goes off at half-time, obviously carrying that injury, which I'm sure I heard Cole say last time it was a knee injury. Was it a knee? He felt something, or was it his? I might be wrong. Maybe the press conference at 12 o'clock at night when I watched it, thought it was his knee. So if that is the case, hopefully it's not ligament damage or something that's going to keep him out for any length of time. He comes off. Diamandi comes on. I suppose I was talking to Scott at half time, so it's fair to say because we both sit near each other, and I think our view at that point was, can't really tell whether we've played well or whether they're very poor or whether it's a mixture of them, or we've done some nice things, but other than that, it's not really that much happened. And a whole combination of things. I don't know what your thoughts were at half time. It felt quite weird in a strange cutaway because I don't think we were destroying them, but also couldn't work out whether that's because they weren't particularly good.
No, it was. I mean, you've got as I said, you've got to give the team credit. I mean, it's the Europa League, and okay. I mean, what about their manager, man? Their manager looked like somebody the equaliser would kill in 25 seconds. He was a scary-looking character on the sidelines, and it's their chairman. Their chairman picks the players or something for like and he was resting 6 players and all that. So that was a weird. I mean, they won the first 2 games in the Europa, so everything coming into the match was super weird. So it's very difficult to understand the levels that they were at and the players that was on the park. So you've got to go out and you've got to beat what was in front of you. I mean, we were 2-0 up at half time, clean sheet. Czerny was fantastic. He was possessed last night. He played like a man that was completely possessed. It was the best performance, and it's good to see that he's got that in him. You know, Raskin was fantastic. Barron was fantastic in midfield. Defence kept a clean sheet, and except for Butland's shaky moment, we didn't really have any clear-cut chances against us. So, you know, I think you have to give the team praise when the team deserves praise. You know, it can't all be negative all the time. And, you know, you've got to give them a little bit of credit. They got the job done. So, on to Sunday now. But, no, good. For me, first half performance was okay. 2-0 up. You know, a lot to be happy about.
So just following on from that, then JD. So at half time, again, I'm trying to work out what is it Stoyer's trying to rather than whatever it is, FCSB. Because it seemed to me that they looked to try and pass the ball about the back until Rangers press them, then they just hoofed it. There didn't really seem to be a plan to break the press other than just pass it about and then hopefully nobody comes in.
I thought they were almost saying to us, like, come and get us, and I think we almost played into their hands, but Raskin and Barron were so good at doing it. Only one of them went at a time, that when that happened, we generally won the ball back basically every time we pressed them. So I don't think they were up to much, and I hate saying that, because it almost tries to downplay your performance and, they were rubbish. And a lot of people said that they were terrible, that's why we beat them. No, listen, I take the positives. Even at half time, I know a lot of people were saying it's a bit weird, dead weird, but I was just clinging on to the fact that for me, the biggest thing from the first half was I seen a cut, and I keep going on about this, a cut of throw-ins. We got the ball, we threw it, and it was rapid. Our tempo was on point. Raskin, Barron, and Cherny were the three that drove that tempo from the outset, and I just love to see us play like that. Because people are saying, when it comes up to playing against a low block, your Kellys and your St.Mirrens and that, right? It's a different kettle of fish, because that is true. But see these teams, right? Steaua Bucharest would be easily in the top 3-4 in Scotland, right? No bother. But if we press, say, St. Mirren on Sunday and they want to sit and play 4-5-1, if we press them the way we press Steaua Bucharest, it doesn't matter what they're going to be. It doesn't matter. So I was really enthused by the tempo and the urgency and the press in the first half, and that's all I took for the first half. Steaua weren't up to much, but we didn't allow them to do anything. Barron was at everything, every single thing he got.
See on that, JD, right? So one of the things that was quite evident to me was there was a change of shape. So normally what we've seen this season is, trying to explain it the best way, we've had kind of 6, an 8, and a 10, and what has happened is 6 would drop back into the back 3, make it a back 3, and leave the rest in there. So, but yesterday that didn't happen. I don't remember them. The two number 6s, which was Raskin and Barron, dropping back at all. They kind of stayed in front of them. So it was a very noticeable change in style, which allowed, as you say, Barron and Raskin to kind of dominate that midfield. And I suppose on that, do you think that was a tactical plan for that one game, or something that really should be taken forward?
If it's a tactical plan for that one game, right, and it worked so well, you've got to then use that as your little plan going forward. I don't know, it'll need to change for whatever team you play, but Clement's not done that with any other games he's played. He's played the same system and everything. So if this has worked, Clement might go, I'll play that again against St. Mirren. If he plays that again against St. Mirren, you don't need a 60 drop into the centre half position. Just play with your flat back 4 and let your 2, they're almost a hybrid 6-8, who are sitting and just saying, right, as soon as one person from that midfield come in, one of us will go, and then or somebody further wide will come in, one of us will go, and it worked a treat. So it definitely was. We haven't seen us play that way at all. It worked. So I would hope to see us play that again in the coming games and try it against a team like St. Mirren. I firmly believe if we get at a team, any team in the East, by the way, I'll say this, even when we get at Celtic, they look vulnerable. Rangers press teams, they look vulnerable, and I've said that for 4 or 5 years when we press, but we need to do it. It's hard going, but if we do that all the time, teams will struggle, and we look brilliant when we do it. So they need to continue that and get into Sunday.
And we'll come back to some of these points going. So we move into the second half now. So the second half comes in and we score, I can't remember when it was, but relatively early we score a third, which is probably, in my view, probably the best goal of the game. So right from our own goalkeeper, out. Yep. Lovely bit of play. I think Tav heads it on to Diamande. Diamande first time ball at Cherny. And what I liked about this from watching it was Cherny just drove. He drove straight towards the front of the goal, towards the goal. None of this stop and starting. You're looking at it, watching. There's 2 or 3 players from Bayrami to Diamande and maybe Agamani or Dessers. It might be actually they were all running towards the box. So we had actually an overload by that point, and you're kind of shouting them like pass. But a lovely touch, ball went to the goal. Ricky, that takes it 3-0. Game's done. Excellent goal again from Cherny. Your thoughts?
No, brilliant, mate. Honestly, Cherny was possessed last night. It was like a cheat code last night. It was like a player you've got on FIFA that's got extra ratings or something. He was absolutely fantastic. And that goal was just him in full flow. he got the ball and he was just like, right, I don't care about anyone else. This is going in the net. And the finish was beautiful as well. Like, just drove right into the box. And really, 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 really good finish. And the team was playing. That was when with a few younger players on. I mean, that was a great pass from Diamonde. I still didn't think he was that great when he came on, Diamonde. That was a good ball and that was a great moment for him. But I still think he hides too much in his actual performance. But when the team clicks like that, it's great to see. And that's what we need to do against St. Mirren. We need to see this journey again on Sunday. We can't go back to in all the games in Europe when we've played league games after them this season. The team has been absolutely pathetic, really poor. So we can't. We've been lucky these games have been at Ibrox and we've got away with victories. This Sunday against St. Mirren, just keep the tempo because it's all about the tempo. If we play at our tempo like that, no team in Scotland, except for obviously Celtic, it's a different game, can live with us. And it's the same for Pittodrie as well. That's the way you need to play when you go to Pittodrie. Aberdeen's going to try and come on us, and St. Mirren play quite good football as well. So they'll try and play a little bit at Ibrox. So if you can get Barron a little bit higher up the park and he can rob them the way that he was doing against Stilla, it can really work for us. So it's really exciting and it's something to hang on to. And I'm looking forward to seeing the team on Sunday. But we'll have to see the same sort of performance. We can't go back to lethargic, boring, Stevie Clifford said, side to side, long ball football. We need to see good football. So hopefully the team can do that on Sunday for us.
No, I will come to that. We'll do a bit of preview for 10, 15 minutes towards the end. So just finishing the Czerny, because I realised as we were talking, I probably didn't cover his first goal in any real detail, which was a right footer. So JD, a right footer, which people complained he's been extremely one-footed in his time here. Lovely finish, but great determination, wins the ball, again heads straight for the goal and curls it into the corner. So I suppose just your thoughts on his performance overall and his 2 goals.
I've been a big critic of him, I must admit. I don't think he's offered enough, but yesterday's went in a long way to show us the type of player that he can be, or the type of player that he is, but just not often enough. And it's all about consistency. So thought it was... I probably still gave Barron man of the match last night because I just love the way he plays. I just love that centre mid in there. But Czerny was right up there for me. 8, 9 out of 10 easily. His first goal was beautiful. That's beautiful, just passing it into the net, man. It was easy, just beautiful goal. So brilliant. I think it will be difficult. I think it will be more difficult on Sunday because he won't have as much space. Couple of passes done, Stoya, and it was through or one man to beat. You're not going to get that. But so it's a different tactical game come Sunday for Czerny, but just run at people. Just run at people. That's what he needs to do.
Do you think that's actually part of the challenge? Is you're saying just run at people, but when we are playing St. Mirren, for example, and we get the ball 30 yards out, there's no really anywhere to run to.
I know,
Guy, there is, but listen, it's about the speed of your passing, though. See, they're going to have 5, 6 players back in defence, and the way that you penetrate that is by one-touch, quick passing football, and get down the sides and whack balls in, like I spoke about in other pods. When Yefte will have 5 opportunities to cross the ball, and if you give them good coaching going into these games, you can break these teams down. And once you get that first, second goal, then you can put 4, 5, 6 past these teams easy. But you need to break them down with high tempo, fast, quick 1-2s around the box, and that's how you break these teams down. If you make it easy for them and just play in front of them and you're playing side to side and there's no movement, the movement's really important as well. If the movement is good, then these teams shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. So the game continues, and obviously after that third goal, there's a little bit of an incident when Dessers walks off the park, visibly upset apparently. It was quite strange at the game you're watching, think, where's he going? Do you know what's happening here? I don't want to cover a lot of detail because I think Clement's explained that he was quite emotional. He couldn't see properly, and he's told him that's not the way to behave. I think bluntly was, but JD, it was quite a strange incident. I don't know what it was covered.
I thought he'd lost a contact lens because remember he was down before it and they were touching his eye and stuff like that. So I thought maybe he's lost a contact, and then when he just kind of disappeared, I was thinking. No, I said to my mates, no, I think he's away to get his contacts, like a contact thing, because he just kind of disappeared. But like he was running to the changing room and he was going to run back on, but they were getting Iggerman's ready to come on. So weird. I'm not happy with it. Listen, I don't think any Rangers fan are happy with it. And I don't think it would take much for many Rangers fans to then not be happy with Dessers. He did score lots of goals for us last year. He scored a few goals this year, but he's all round play. I mean, even when the wee man came on for him, the basics of the game are holding it up, finding a man, holding a man off, winning a foul. He's better than Dessers at all that. He might not be a better finisher than Dessers, right? And that's saying something. Or he might not score as many goals as Dessers, but the young boys, somebody said, Ricky, was it you? Someone said it reminds them of Morelos' first season with Rangers, which that could bode well. But I think he's got to start Sunday.
So that leads us nicely, Ricky, on to Igaman. So Igaman comes on. I can't remember, Igaman or Igamani, who knows? We'll go Igaman just now. So he comes on. He scores the fourth. Again, Barron wins the ball in the middle of the park. Ball runs to him. And again, first thought is drive forward the ball. Shows a lot of nice touches. The defender, I have to say, that centre half who was the captain was abysmal. I mean, he wouldn't get a game for something. I wouldn't have thought that.
Gary, they're talking about him going to the Premier League.
Really? I couldn't have told you who he was, but he was dreadful. I thought the whole game he looked all over the place. Anyway, so Agaman goes through. I say he moves from side to side. The guy doesn't know what to do, and he drills it low into the corner. Probably not the first time he's tried kind of similar shot. That kind of drill it low to the side. Great to get his first goal. Amazing. Obviously, a big weight off his shoulders, and he's certainly got some touches on that goal itself. Ricky, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, fantastic goal. He took it really well. He needed that, because I mean, what's that 4 or 5 times we've seen him now started. He only got small cameos when he first came into the team. We keep hearing about how fantastic he's been in training and stuff like that. He got a start, and I didn't think it was very fair. The wingers that started the day that they started with him, and he didn't really look that great when he got his first start. But last night he came on, he looked back to that confident, bouncy self. His goal was fantastic. He was holding the ball up, he started to win the ball. Dessers was another one of his absolute. I mean, I've written down here my ratings from last night. He got a 3 out of 10 for me, and that was generous, to be honest. And I'm not even on about, all that. I mean, he ran off, he had a sore eye, but he was diving about before that. He's diving about with the ref and everything, man. He's a tough watch as a Rangers number 9. So any striker that comes on that's replacing that, it's all there for you to go and show what you can do and grab that jersey. And for me, he has to start against St. Mirren. Don't know. I don't want to be too harsh on Dessers. I hope it's not the same injury as Marco Negri, but he could be up for a while now with the eye injury, so we will see. But for me, Igaman has to start on Sunday against St. Mirren. Let's give the kid a run, Let's get him in the team. He's been in Scotland long enough. We mollycoddle these kids far too much. They sit on the bench for absolutely no reason. It's very difficult for them to get an opportunity at Rangers. So for me, I also liked that when we got the third goal, he brought on a few young players last night, and that's what we should be doing. If we're playing St. Mirren and they're on the bench, these guys, let's get them on when we go 3-0 up, you keep 2 subs, get Rice on, give him some minutes, get your Lovelace, get him in the team and see what he can do. He was a little bit, when he came on, he was a little bit trying a little bit too hard last night, but that's understandable. But let's get these kids minutes, and for Igaman, let's start him on Sunday. And he's young pace as well, pace and power in the team, young legs. That's what we need to see.
Right, Ricky, stop moving on to a preview before I get there. Right, we're on an agenda here. Just keep moving us forward before I'm ready to go there.
That was just I'm excited for it.
So as we conclude the game, I think it's fair to say, I've not seen the stats, but we obviously were pretty dominant. There was a lot of, without getting refereeing decisions, there was a lot of fouls, strange fouls, not given, and bookings, and it was a typical European night. I think it's the first time we've won with 4 goals in over 20 years in the European games. So no matter how much people want to criticise Sawyer, who'd won 2 games, 4-0 shouldn't be sniffed at. We should be a bit of respect to the team on that. I suppose just to close that off, your man of the match then, JD.
Yeah, I said I'd probably stick. Barnes are my favourite of mine, so I'd probably stay with Connor Barron with the tempo, closely followed by Czerny and Raskin, but I'd get to Barron for me.
Yeah. Ricky?
No, for me, Czerny was possessed, and I want to see that going forward. I know wingers are inconsistent, but for me, 100% Czerny. I thought he was fantastic. Took his goals fantastic. More of the same, please.
Right, guys, just something. I know we're on a timer here, but
right.
I thought Jeffy for a wee cut again. He's coming into it. He's not really been tested heavily defensively, but anything he done last night, see when he's blocking the ball in the corner and stuff, he always finds a way to get the ball out. I really like him, and I was not sure on him that first appearance, if you remember it, but
I'm going to ask you a question, because I was talking again to my daughter at the game last night, and one of the things that caught my eye with Jeff, and as you say, defensively, I thought it was really good. He was winning the ball back and stuff like that. I kind of think he stopped running down the line. Maybe it's tactical, maybe there's a reason. He seemed to be coming inside an awful lot, and I wondered if that was kind of noticeable, which was maybe hindering him some ways.
I know what you're saying, because we've been kind of chastising him because his balls in the box haven't been that good. So that might be a tactical thing where they're saying, right, listen, until we can get you to work on your crossing, find other ways of getting the ball, and maybe that's him. Because I thought Bayrami was quieter last night, but he stayed out way wider than he's done in any other game. So again, that might have been tactical. What I like about Jeffy is he gets us up the park quick and fast. That young guy gets the ball, he goes, and he covers 20, he can get you up the park 20, 30 yards in the blink of an eye. So I was impressed with him as well.
Well, I want to pick a couple of players before we move on then, just so and you've talked about it a wee bit, but I think it's probably important we mention Raskin, Ricky. Do you know Raskin? Is it a Raskan or all these different, again, we like to change names. He's been relatively anonymous for the best part of a year, really, through injury or through loss of form or through not being played much. Yesterday was probably the best, the strongest I've seen him for a long, long time.
Yeah, the problem is, though, you've hit the nail on the head with your first sentence. It's the same. You can put him, you can put Yilmaz, you can put Lawrence, you can put them all in exactly the same bracket. We'll get them up to speed. When Clement first came in, Raskin was fantastic. I remember a great first game, great goal against Hibs. And again, another one of these injuries that seemed to last for months and months, and then he's really struggled to get back into the team. So hopefully now he's in the team. Like yesterday, if he performs like that, he's going to start matches. And last night, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. The main thing, the great thing about having Raskin, we've all said for the last pods, we need a number 6. We should have signed a number 6. Why did we not sign a number 6? So even if Raskin can do that until January, and then we can bring in another number 6 in January, then he'll be doing a job for the team. Because you saw with Barron, the difference between Barron and Diamande in that position was just chalk and cheese. That energy, that drive, having that little bulldog, that little Jack Russell in the midfield making tackles, he was fantastic. And that was what gave the team tempo. Because if players like that are performing in the team, other players have to go with them, you know. If Czerny's playing like that and Raskin and Barron are pressing like that, other players, that drags other players along. So he needs to stay in the team. And I'm looking at, again, another player I'm looking forward to seeing how he does on Sunday against St.Mirren. Hopefully he can keep that form going, stay injury-free, and get a good run in the team up until January.
So just, and we'll just move on to the preview part.
Sorry, Gary, so Ricky, you saying play him up until January and then we're going to buy somebody else to replace him?
No. What I'm saying, if he can stay fit until January, then what can happen in January is you bring in a number 6, so we've got competition in the midfield, you know. Even now, mate, a squad is if you lose Raskin, you're back to square one. If you lose Raskin, you're back to square one. Barron has to drop in. Diamande's not doing it just now, so you've got to find a position for him. So even though last night was fantastic, we still need players to come in to make the squad stronger. And these players should be kicking on. You're on about Yefte. Yefte has to kick on now because Yilmaz is fit. Kasim Wurjo is begging for a position in that team. So these players, that's good to have. That's the competition you need in the squad.
So JD, just before we move on to this, so I'm thinking, so Barron and Raskin, so they're very similar players in a lot of ways, you know, and what they do is they're the terriers, they get about the park, they win the ball back. They do lose it a lot. Their passing, let's be honest, isn't their strongest point at times. But what it did to me, watching the game yesterday, it allowed Czerny, Bayrami, Jefte, Tav, and Lawrence at times to actually not be as constrained by having to chase after the ball as well, which maybe fell upon that style. By having those two.
Maybe it has fell upon that, and if they two continue to perform like that and win win the ball back all that time. I don't think Barron gets credit for his passing that he should get. And I know he does lose it a lot, but he loses it because he tries a hard pass or a forward pass every time. I think Barron's passing's levels ahead of Raskin's. I thought Raskin was a good ball winner and done it all last night and kept it. He always likes to keep it more simple. Whereas when Barron gets it, his first 90% of the time, 80% of the time, his first thought's to go forward with it. And he loses it sometimes, but if they two just keep it that, then any little second ball that once they win it, that your Chernies, your Lawns, your Bajramis or whoever can pick up, then you're so far up the park, you're ready to go. So hopefully we have fell on that, and it's maybe we're not giving Clement enough credit to say that he's fell on it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe this is the plan all along, but who knows?
I just think watching it, to me, it was. I mean, it allows people at Cherny and Bajrami, and that's not the game's not about tackling. So if you've got people that can win the ball and get it to them, they have got the creativity, and you don't play that many times your international team to not have a team at those levels to not have the ability. So if we move on to the St. Mirren game, so Sunday, is it? I can remember, is it Sunday at 3 o'clock? I can never remember what the kickoff is.
Yes.
Sunday at 3 o'clock. St. Mirren are sitting 8th in the league just now, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 5 defeats, I think.
Don't say that.
But they always, I mean, St. Mirren play a certain style. We all know that. Stephen Robinson's played a certain style for a number of years. It's usually with the big man up front, get the ball direct, which has been a bit of a problem for us over the last year at times. I suppose just your kind of thoughts about the game, JD, first. You know, what are you thinking in terms of the game? Your nerves around it, your thoughts, your concerns?
I 100% think it's a bigger game. I know it's Europe and stuff like that, but for me, this is a bigger game on Sunday. For me, it's a harder game as well, because we have historically proven that we struggle against teams of this ilk. The annoying thing is, we know how Stevie Robinson plays. He's done the same for all these years he's been in Scotland. We should be able to manufacture a way around that and beat a team like that. So, what was it last year? Oh no, it's at Ibrox on Sunday, isn't it? Aye, sorry, because last season in Paisley we beat them, and Dessers scored, we beat them 1-0, didn't we? But I would take a 1-0 tomorrow, maybe not a Dessers 1-0, but I'd take a 1-0 on Sunday. I just think we just need to get a win. Get a win. Just keep winning the league games. But I'm not nervous. I don't really get nervous, but I do worry about this type of game again, because we have struggled. Although at Ibrox it should be a bit better, I think.
Yeah, no, I think at Ibrox.
If it was Paisley, I would be a lot more worried, because I do think we would struggle. It's a 0-0 or a 1-0 written all over it.
You kind of feel that Ibrox will grind the result out. It might not be great, but you still expect to do enough to win it potentially. So, Ricky, just if we look at some of the I suppose it's a different challenge from Europe, arguably, and I suppose that's the concern that playing a game against St. Mirren, who will sit deep, look to hit the players and hit the ball far, will be a totally different challenge. How would you be approaching the game?
No, I agree with what JD said. We just need to win, but I want to keep this momentum going. I want a good performance as well. I don't want to just turn up. I don't want the negativity, because the negativity will just come flying back. If we turn up and Dessers starts and we'll win 1-0 and it's turgid, then it just puts a heap of pressure on the players going into the game against Aberdeen at Pittodrie on Wednesday, which is a real massive game. So, and I think we've got the players now. I think, like you said, we've stumbled across the situation with Raskin and Barron. We know the back four that's going to start. I think he'll start Balogun, because Proper was pretty poor when he came on. So for me, I think the back four picks itself. It's going to be Tav, Suter, Balogun and Yefte. Then in the midfield, it's going to be Raskin, Barron. I would love to see Nel have to get Bajrami in the number 10 position. It's his time now. Lawrence is going to be injured for sure. Bajrami has to start in the number 10 position. You've got Cherny, you've got Igamani, and then on the left, I wouldn't be against putting Diamande there and just have that front three as your creative players, and because Bajrami doesn't really do a lot of work in the midfield. So Diamande you could get Yefte on the outside of him, and he could help with the midfield when the others are creating and stuff. So I wouldn't be against trying that, because I don't want to see McCausland on the left. It is still a problem position for us. You could bring in Casa at left back and put Yefte up one. So there is options there for the manager. I just hope it keeps that freshness going in the team, and we have a good performance, good 3-4-0 victory, and then that'll keep us. Look, we need that momentum to keep going for Pittodrie. Listen, for me, I know we're speaking about St Mirren, but we should be going up to Pittodrie and beating Aberdeen. I don't care the fact that they're flying. We're speaking about Graham Shinney, like players like that. I mean, they've no signed, they've no went and signed the Galacticos Aberdeen. You know, it's still the same.
You're moving us on a week on the agenda, and you're moving us further on to Monday's.
No, I know, mate. I know, but I'm just saying. My point is to keep the momentum. I want to keep that momentum going. We've had a shocking start to this block of fixtures after the international break. So just going and beating St Mirren 1-0 and it's a poor performance, it's going to drag everyone back down before we play Aberdeen. You want the team to be on a high, keep that momentum going. Good victory on Sunday, up to Pittodrie. If he beats Aberdeen, then that takes a whole heap of pressure off him, because we don't want to be sacking managers, mate. I mean, we can't keep giving a manager 40 games. And like, we are so over. Our reaction is straight away as supporters is sack him, get rid of him, bring in Muscat, let's bring in McInnes. You know, that's the way our support is, and we need to keep that momentum going. If we beat Aberdeen, then that takes the pressure right off him. So that's what I want to see.
Yeah. And there's a question in the chat about Hadji being available. So Hadji's second game of his ban is on Sunday, so it is available for the Aberdeen game. Hence the reason he's probably playing B-team games. I suppose one of the kind of big questions in terms of selection, we don't really know how people have come out from the game, JD. We're assuming Lawrence is getting an injury. We've not heard anything. There was no press conference, obviously, unless there's been stuff come out from last night's one that was maybe embargoed. So we've no idea who's fit, who's not. But I suppose what's some of the things that caught my eye, and it's maybe just so that's the last 2 or 3 games now. We've now brought on Casemiro and moved Tav up further forward, which seems to be quite an interesting one. And if you're Ross McCausland or others, it seems to be quite a common theme now. Do you think that's something that they're looking at regularly now?
I'm not sure. It kind of feels like a little way to keep the captain in the team, perhaps, when you're making substitutions, but I'm not keen on that. Tav has done a lot for his goals and assists. We've not won a lot, right? But I don't think he's the answer out there. And it's maybe for 10 minutes in a game, whatever, right? You could do it. It's not.
I think it's about getting Tav on the park, or more about getting Casemiro some minutes.
Yeah, we can get Casemiro on the park for 90 minutes, just in right back and don't play Tav. Or put Casemiro to left back, put Yefty forward. I love Yefty in the left-hand side. I would play him out there, but he would need to sharpen up his crossing. So for me, again, listen, I know you're talking about Tav, but I don't think he played too well last night either. I know he had a couple of good touches, but if you probably look at everybody, he was quieter. He has been quieter this season than probably most of all his other seasons. I think if you want to try and get Casemiro in at right back, he just plays right back for me, and Cherny plays right mid for me, and Tav would just need to sit out. And that's what happens. By the way, we've had 100 better players than James Tavernier that their time came to an end, and the event found themselves on the bench. The greatest ever Rangers found themselves all sitting on the bench getting splinters. So that doesn't mean it can't come to James Tavernier. So
no, it should come to everybody. I'm saying I don't want to talk a lot about Tav. I just found it quite interesting. That's the last 2 or 3 games that he brought Chris and was going to move them further forward, and obviously Cherny. Well, I suppose what I find more interesting is the guy's 33 next week, and he's still the only one that has to play every 90 minutes. You maybe give the guy a break a little bit. So moving on, we've also got Lawrence, we're assuming, is out. We've also got some stuff around. Danilo played for the B team during the week and scored. We had Igaman was on last night. Des is obviously one of the things now potentially have is 3 strikers coming to a level of fitness, which does give that flexibility around to move it. Do you think in a game against Ricky and a game against Man, you've talked a wee bit about Igaman playing, but Dessers, I suppose, in terms of those type of games, arguably people suggest they suit him better. Those games. So, are you of the view that Igaman has done enough from that 20-minute cameo last night to start?
Yeah, 100%. Dessers has not scored in 6 matches, mate, and that's 6 of these performances in a row where he looks like he's won a raffle to play for Glasgow Rangers. So, how many raffle tickets did the guy buy? Did he win 10 tickets to play 10 games in a row for Rangers? At one point, it's not even about scoring goals, man. A man can come in, he can help the team, get the team up the park. You need your striker to be doing a lot more than, especially for Rangers, the system that we play. He needs to be a focal point for the team. He needs to be able to hold the ball up and stuff like that. And I watched a lot of that. Was a really good performance from the B team, and I spoke to, I know some people that were at the game, and they said the TV team were fantastic. And we've got another kid, Finlay Curtis, who's scoring goals left, right, and centre, and looks absolutely electric. So what you were speaking about before, I think it's a bit daft, and it's nothing to do with Tav, because it's other players as well. Like, why do we not give these a cat, like with Cosland and that? You should be giving them 20 minutes at the end of the match. It makes no sense to be playing players out of position and have 3 right backs on the park when we've got good players that are sitting on the bench to come on. So, and Neil, for me, he was very rusty, and he was actually the one player in the B team game that actually looked like he'd not played football for. He is going to need to be nursed back to fitness. And, as hard as it is to say, I don't think he's ready. He's maybe ready for 10 minutes here and there, but he's not ready to be considered as a proper 45 minutes or anything like that. He's going to have to be nursed back, and probably be after Christmas until we see Danilo proper fitness to really kick on.
Ricky, see for that, see what Danilo coming back and getting 10 minutes here, maybe 15 minutes there. I wouldn't be adverse if that's the case and Lawrence is injured. Bajrami coming into the middle, Egeman playing out in the left, and Danilo playing in the middle. That might be a better long-term approach 100%. If we get Danilo back to a £6 million player. But
yes.
Yeah, I think you need to get him back to show. I mean, he's a £6 million player, presumably on £6 million wages, and he can't be sitting struggling to get himself fit.
It's strange we've never seen Egeman on the left, because he is. We heard when Comont was speaking. I know he says a lot of stuff, but he did say when he was speaking about him before the season started that he could play any position in the front three, and he was going to be using him out wide. And we've not seen it once. Every single time he's came on, he's played centre forward, so it is a bit strange that we've never seen.
Probably because he had to.
Yeah, probably because he had to. But there has been. I mean, we are even now on Sunday. We're struggling. Who are you picking on the left? It's every single podcast, and the team basically picks itself. Where it's difficult to guess a Comont team, but the left-hand side is always that one position. You like Bajrami has to play there. Who are you going to? And I don't want to see him out there on. It's time to get him in that 10 position. You know?
So, JD, just talking about that, and so we've got, after this game, if I remember rightly, we've got Aberdeen, we've got a League Cup semi-final, we've got Olympiacos, and we've got Hearts all in the space of 2 weeks. Do you think there's any likelihood of rotation or resting, or whatever you want to call that term they use nowadays? JD, you're on mute.
Fuck's sake. I'm a big one for, see if you find the winning formula and it starts to work, I'm not too keen on rotation. I would just keep, if we find 11 players, they all stay fit and we win, and then you get another victory and then another victory. Now, that's not to say that some of these players come off after 60 minutes and you keep them fresh, but I'm keen on finding that winning formula and staying with it. So the team that's, maybe not the team that started on Thursday, but find that winning team. Everybody playing well. Perhaps it's
gives you a predicted lineup. Then gives you a predicted lineup. That takes us nicely to that. And for Sunday, what do you expect?
I think you do well. The same back. Listen, we're praying Balogun's fit because basically he's probably our best defender, right? And it's a massive difference. You can just tell the confidence he gives to a John Suter or whoever he plays because he's well loved and he's just chilled and so he's got to play. It's the same team basically in it. I wouldn't be adverse as Tav coming out and Casemiro coming in. I'm not 100% convinced with Casemiro yet, but he's not had enough time. Kind of similar to Sterling. Both of them are in the same boat, really. So, but I think Tav will play. Rask and Barn are a must. I quite like Ricky's one of putting Diomande out in the left because he has also played out there and with his last team. He's played out wide. He's played in multiple positions. So I wouldn't be adverse with playing him out there. But I think I'm going to stick my neck in the line and say that I think Yefty will play there and I think Casemiro will start at left back. And then we'll maybe move Bajrami into the middle, Czerny, and then Egeman.
Yeah. Ricky, your team, any changes from that? Just to rattle through it again, we said it earlier on.
Same team, mate. Exactly the same. I totally agree with everything JD said. Diomande, or the most important thing for me is Bajrami in the 10. Diomande or Yefty on the left with Casa left back. I would be fine with that because you can tell even when he came on, he's got a confidence about him. He's a Dutch under 21 internationalist, mate. The Dutch always carry themselves a bit of swagger, so got that bit of swagger about him, so we need to get him out. But a player we don't never speak about, it's just mad, and he's just signed a new contract. It's Sterling. What the hell is going on with Sterling?
Yeah, he was on the bench obviously last night, and I think I said last week in a pod, Ricky, didn't it? It's interesting now. He's a fourth choice left back, third choice right back, and I don't know, fourth choice centre midfield. I don't know. It's a strange JD.
Given a new contract as well. It's just a weird situation. But he can't stay fit either. Another who can't stay fit. So many of them just now.
It's a strange one. It's a strange one, and part of the leadership group as well. Sorry, I should have said that for Sterling as well. So he's obviously highly thought of, but for some reason, there's no place in the first 11 anywhere. And I think most fans, if I've been honest, seem to prefer Casson Virgil now to start before he does, and certainly those two full-back positions. I think my team, just for whoever's interested, I think it will be Butland. I would like to see Tav rested because I think he's going to then play 90 minutes for the next 4 games. So now, if you're going to rest him Sunday as a game, they should be doing it. I don't think they will, though. I think about Tav, Balogun, Suter, and Hefty. I think Raskin, Barron, and Diamandi, I think, will play in the 10. Bajrami in the left, Tierney in the right, and I think unless Dessers is injured, he would probably start again. So basically, the same team. Bar. I'm giving you what I think will happen. I don't think it's necessarily what I think should happen. And so again, without knowing who's fit and who's not. So just on score lines then. So let's give us a score line and your goal scorers, if there is any going to be. So I'm going to you, Ricky, first.
Goals. I'm hoping to see a 3-0, 3-4-0, and I will go Egerman first goal. He's going to start and he's going to score the first goal. Keep the momentum going. Good performance, good crowd. I hope that's a full house at Ibrox. We've not seen a full house this season at Ibrox, all the games, and I hope there's the press and that starting to pick on that fact. So I hope Ibrox is full. Get behind the team. Good 3-4-0 victory, and then on to Pittodrie on Wednesday.
Yeah, JD.
I hate doing this because it always comes back to biting the arse, doesn't it? But if we perform the way we performed on Thursday and we take that tempo into the game, I think if you get one early doors, it could be 3-4 again. So I would maybe say 3-0, and I think Tierney will just continue his form.
Yeah. I think I'll probably go similar. I was going to go 2-0, but I don't want to end it with me going the more depressing scoreline of the 3. I think I'll go 3-0. I think Tierney. Like to see Bajrami get a goal in the league. And what I do normally doing when I do my Sky Bet every week is end up putting Tav on to score assists because you very rarely think it's going to happen. So, but it's never. My daughter said last night, you need to stop doing that because it's not happening. But I'll go for it again anyway. So Tav to score. We must be due a penalty again. I mean, but the penalties are really limited.
I've had a penalty for ages, have I?
No.
I think we've won all season. So before we close in for the pod for tonight, anything else, JD, you want to we've not covered? Do you want to bring up tonight?
No, fine. I think Diamandi's form for a £4 million player is a wee bit worrying, and I raised that a couple of weeks ago and I get pelters for it, but it has continued. But
I agree.
He's came from a different country. I know he's been here for a wee bit, but I'm still holding on to him because he definitely has something. But
I think that's what it is, though, because we look at him, you can see his body shape and the way he moves, and you think there's something there, but for some reason it's not influencing games enough.
Gary, we've got to stop making excuses for him, though, man. Good players find a way, and it's like he's playing in all different positions now. And Ross hit the nail on the head in the chat, our group chat today. He slows everything snail pace as soon as it gets to him. So he never needs to get up to the speed of Scottish football. Again, can come down to coaching. Comeau's got to get an arm around him. Alex Ray's got to get an arm around him. He was a midfielder. Hey, look, the tempo's going to change, mate. You need to get up to speed with Scottish football because we paid a lot of money for him. And we keep saying there's a player in there, but he's been here for over a year now, mate, and we need to see it.
I want to see the player that we saw when he first came because he played further forward and was having shots for the edge of the box, getting assists, getting the odd goal. That's been drained out. He actually looks a player who's really void of confidence just now. So if we get that back, I'm confident there's a player there. But I agree with you, Ricky, 100%, mate.
I know. I think, and that smiley, that big beaming smile, and look quite excited and everything. You just said it seems to have drained a little bit. Ricky, anything else you wanted to add?
Yes, James Tavernier, get off of Twitter. What are you doing on that horrible toxic platform, mate? You do not need to be on that stupid platform with people pretending they're Rangers fans, calling you a loser and calling you this and calling you that. Like, what does he need to with his life to be on that absolute stupid? I mean, that's for idiots like us that go on and rant about Rangers, mate. It's not for the captain of Rangers. The site is absolute toxic. He doesn't need it. It's just all Rangers players. If I was the manager, none of them would be allowed on that site. And that's my last rant of the day.
No, that's fine. And we are just about coming in. So, Scott, the next show is on Monday night after the game on Sunday. And probably I'm curious, I forgot this means a hot topic, and we don't want to get into for legal reasons, obviously, but more about a wasted career at 27-year-old. A hero of probably each of us in terms of Alfredo. Just sad to see. I think it's disappointing, what he should have been, what he could have been, and probably where he is now. There's a cautionary tale in there for everybody, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
He was on his way to training as well. I know what you're saying. You can't really speak about it too much, but it's very, very sad that this is. But I mean, you saw the end at Rangers, man. How fat was he when he was playing for us in that Castor T-shirt, man? He was like cutting about like Santa Claus up front. So it's very sad. I mean, 1 minute he was going to the English Premier League and he had the talent, but you need the mentality to go when it's the demon drink. Once you got on that alcohol in Scotland, then it's
there has been a few videos released, whether they are the actual videos or not. But God bless the person that got injured in that.
Yes.
But they were driving the wrong side of the road. The person in the motorbike was on the wrong side of the road and went right into Morelos. That being said, if that is the true video, you see Morelos skiffing the two cars on the other side of the road to start with. So you could tell he clearly had a drink. So what a waste.
Shame, what a waste. As you say, he was a hero for many years,
He was very shame. Shame in people's life. It just shows you it's a life lesson for everyone, man. 1 minute you can have it all, and then the next thing is you can just you can be sitting in a prison cell a couple of years later. Life can be absolutely mental at times.
Definitely. So anyway, we've come to the end of the show tonight, and again, like, subscribe, please. Thanks for everybody for joining in the comments. We will be back on Monday night. Lovely, good to see you both, and good to see you contributing. And hopefully you enjoyed tonight's episode. We will see you on Monday after hopefully 3 points, a little bit closer. Hopefully, again, we are looking forward to a game at Pittodrie. We can talk in depth about where that brings us. So thanks everybody, and we will see you again. Good night.